Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Jai Sri Hari Vishnu Bhagwan. Jai Mahalakshmi Mata. This is the 15th chapter of the Vaishakh Maas Adhyay of the Vaishnav Khand of the Skanda Purana. Chapter 15. Story of a ruler of Panchal Desh. Shrutadev said, "Listen further, O king, to the sin-destroying supreme efficacy of the month of Vaishakh, a great favorite of Vishnu. Formerly in the land of Panchal, there was a king named Puruyashash. He was son of Bhuriyashash, who was intelligent and righteous. When his father passed away, O king, he was installed in the kingdom. He was eager to maintain dharma. He was endowed with the qualities of heroism and liberal mindedness. He was an expert in the science of archery. The highly intelligent king ruled the entire earth through his pious and righteous activities. Since he had not offered water to the needy in the previous birth, he had incurred a great fault. O sinless one, after a lapse of some time, he suffered a great loss of wealth. Horses and elephants met with doom after being afflicted with a fatal disease. A great famine of unprecedented fury swept the land, and the entire realm was denuded of its population. The kingdom and treasury became empty like a wood apple tree eaten up by an elephant. On coming to know that the king had become weak and bereft of strong army, treasury, and stable kingdom, hundreds of Omar kings, the enemies of Miss King, thought that was the proper time to defeat him. They came in and conquered the overlord of Panchal land in battle. Defeated by them, the king resorted to mountain caves along with his wife Sikhni and accompanied by nurses and other attendants. Others could not know his whereabouts. He was agitated on account of various kinds of miseries. Remaining concealed thus, he spent 53 years. The king pondered over the why and wherefore of his condition on many occasions. He thought thus: I am pure by birth and activity. I am engaged in the welfare of my parents. I am a sincere devotee of my preceptors. I am endowed with chivalry and courtesy. I am a benefactor of Brahmanas. I am interested in dharma. I am kind and considerate towards all living beings. I am a devotee of Devas and have conquered the sense organs. Neither my brother, nor my son, nor my friends are my well wishers now, although I am of noble birth and they are famous for their kindness and manliness. Why? For what karma has poverty overtaken me? It gives me much misery. Why have I suffered defeat? What is the reason for my stay in the forest? Worried by these thoughts, the king remembered his preceptors. He was utterly dejected. Two excellent sages named Yaj and Opyajak, who were omniscient, highly intelligent, eminent sages and who were invited by the king, came there. On seeing them, the lord of the Panchal got up promptly. With great devotion, he bent down his head. He had been excessively afflicted on account of his exile. He was devoid of all royal insignia. His whereabouts were not known to anyone. He stood silent for a short while and fell on the ground at their feet. With their hands, they raised him up and wiped off the tears from his eyes. With the splendid materials available in the forest, he duly worshipped them. Bowing down with humility, he asked most Brahmanas when they were comfortably seated. Oh, ye Brahmanas, tell me the cause of my misery. I was lord of the earth. I am pure by birth and activity. I am a favorite of the mains and devas. I am afraid of sins. I am compassionate. I am a devotee of my preceptors. Still, why am I beset with poverty, loss of treasury, and humiliation at the hands of my enemies? What is the reason for my exile in the forest? What is the reason for my loneliness? I have no son. I have no brother. I have no well wishers. I have no friends. Why was there a famine in the splendid land protected and administered by me? Explain this in detail. Tell me the reasons, O eminent sages. On being asked thus by the king who was extremely miserable, those noble souled excellent sages meditated for a short while and then replied. Yaj and Upyajak said, Listen, O king, we shall tell you the cause of your misery. In all the previous 10 births, you were a highly sinful hunter. You were ruthless and always engaged in violently injuring all the people in the world. You did not perform even the slightest and smallest of holy rites at all. You had no control over the sense organs or the mind. Your tongue did not utter the names of Vishnu in any way. Your mind did not remember the lotus like pair of feet of Govind. You never bowed down your head to the Supreme Atman. Like this, O king, 9 of your births passed by, when you continued to be vicious. In the 10th birth, you were a hunter on the Sahya mountain. You were pitiless towards all the people in the world. You were like the god of death unto all men. You were devoid of mercy. You lived by means of your weapons. You were always after violence and harmful activities. You had no good qualities at all. You were knavish, and accompanied by your wife, you harassed wayfarers. You were like a man eating Rakshas to the subjects belonging to Godland. Thus, years rolled by in your ignorance of what was conducive to your own welfare, since you had been merciless, since you had been mercilessly killing infants, children, animals, and birds, and were very vicious. No son was born to you in this birth. Since you had been treacherous previously, you have no uterine brothers. Since you had been harassing wayfarers, you are now devoid of friendly people. Since you had been disrespecting and reproaching good people, you have now been defeated by enemies. Poverty has beset you and your abode, family, on account of the sinful defect of having never given anything to anyone. Since you had always caused agony and heart bum to others, you have had to undergo the unbearable sufferings of exile. Since you had displeased all, a misery exceedingly impossible to bear has beset you now. Your present inability to take food is also due to the same reason. Formerly, you were very cruel in all your activities. Hence, O highly intelligent one, you have been deprived of your kingdom in the course of this birth. I shall tell reasons also for your birth in a good and noble family. When you were an inhabitant of the god land, during your ultimate birth as a hunter, you engaged in your own job of ruthless killing of everyone in the forest full of thorns. You stood on the path as the merciless annihilator of all living beings. At that time, two rich and brilliant Vaishyas came that way. They were afflicted with heat. A sage named Karsana, who had mastered the Vedas and Vedangas, also had come. He had matted hair and was clad in bark garments. The meritorious sage had the sole possession of a water pot. On seeing these, you took up your bow and stood there obstructing their palm. You rushed at the Vaishyas and pierced their bodies with your arrows. You killed one of them and seized all his cash and other possessions. When you attempted to kill the other one, he hurriedly fled out of fear. He had the cash and the valuable possessions in a hedge. Utterly frightened, he tried to save his life. Afraid that he would be killed by the hunter, the sage Karsana hurriedly ran in the hot sun. He was oppressed by heat and thirst. He perspired profusely and then swooned. He was only very slightly conscious. The Vaishya, eager to save his life, left the sage and fled. You pursued them, but on seeing the Brahman unconscious on the path, you wanted to ask him, where are the valuable possessions kept hidden? How far has the merchant gone? In order to ask him about this, you attempted to revive the Brahman who was too much tired. You blew into his ears and put powdered ginger to make him recollect properly. You wiped his eyes with the water from the puddle full of mud and worms. As he lay tired, you fanned his face with the leaves. After making the sage conscious, you felt mentally relieved and spoke to him. Do not be afraid or suspicious of me in this forest, because I hold weapons. One who is poor and without any possessions is happy in this world. Wherefore need you be afraid so much? Nothing will I gain from an old broken pot. O learned one, say only this much. Where has that merchant fled? In which hedge is the valuable possession hidden by him as be fled hurriedly? I will kill you if you tell a lie. Karsana said, the wealth is hidden in this hedge. He fled by this path. So said he out of fear and desire to save his life. When he was so questioned, you told the Brahman, go happily along this path, O Brahman. You need not be afraid of me at all. A little farther from here there is excellent water in a lake. Drink that pure water and be relieved of your fatigue. Then go to the village. Now itself royal officials will be coming along this path. They will be engaged in tracing my footsteps after hearing the shrieks and shouts of the prominent merchant. It is not possible for me to accompany you, O Brahman, although you are oppressed by thirst. Fan yourself with this leaf. The heat will subside a little. You went away into the forest again after giving him the palash leaf fan. This was your meritorious deed during the month of Vaishakh with oppressive heat. though the same was performed for the sake of your own selfish ends. It resulted in saving the sage on the way. By the power of this merit, you took birth in the highly meritorious and big royal family. If you wish for happiness, kingdom, wealth, food grains, and other riches, heavenly pleasures, salvation, Sayuji with Hari, or the reign of Hari, perform the holy rites prescribed for the month of Vaishakh. You will obtain all sorts of happiness. This is the month named Vaishakh. This is the third day called Akshay, that is Akshay Tritiya. Fetch a cow that has delivered a calf only and give it to a Brahman who is undergoing sufferings. Thereby your treasury will become filled up. Donate a bed. You will gain happiness. Make the gift of an umbrella. You will get back your empire. Take the holy bath in accordance with the injunctions. Similarly, worship Madhav. Get an excellent idol made and give it away. Thereby you will be victorious. If, O king, you desire to have sons having good qualities on a par with those of yours, make a gift of prapas, free water booths, for the sake of the welfare of all living beings. Scrupulously perform all these holy rites prescribed for the month of Vaishakh. Thereby all the worlds will be under your control. There is no doubt about it. If you perform these holy rites with a mind free from desires, in the meritorious month of Vaishakh, for the gratification of the slayer of Madhu, Vishnu will become visible to you as your mind is devoid of impurities. The seers mentioned in the Puranas know that everlasting worlds will be attained by those people who have performed all these excellent holy rites. All this has been recounted to you as we have seen and heard. After saying this, the Brahman priests Yaj and Upyajak took leave of him and went away the way they came. Then the king of great prowess, enlightened by his preceptors, performed all the Vaishakh rites with great faith. He worshipped the slayer of Madhu in the manner he had been advised. Thereupon he regained his power. Surrounded by all his kinsmen and accompanied by the survivors of the army, he reached the city of Panchal. His old enemies, the kings of neighboring realms, heard that this king had re-entered his city. Therefore they haughtily came to attack him. A battle ensued between most kings and the king of Panchal. The great warrior single-handedly conquered all the mighty kings. When those kings fled along the paths leading to different realms, this powerful king confiscated the treasuries, horses, and elephants of those kings. He brought to the city 100 millions of horses, 30 millions of elephants, 100 millions of chariots, and 10,000 camels, as well as 300,000 donkeys. Due to the greatness of the Vaishakh rites, all the kings were suddenly turned into bears of taxes. They were crushed under his feet and their plans were smashed and frustrated. There was unprecedented and matchless prosperity in the Panchal land. He held sway over all the realms brought under a single umbrella. With the favor of the slayer of Madhu, he begot 5 sons endowed with the qualities of heroism and liberal mindedness. They were Drashtakirti, Drashtaketu, Drashtadyumna, Vijay, and Chitraketu. They were all on a par with Kartikeya. The subjects who were virtuously protected became lovingly attached to him. By the efficacy of Vaishakh, he instantaneously gained the credence of all. Again, the lord of Panchal Nagar performed those holy rites with a mind free from any desire whatsoever, for the gratification of the slayer of Madhu. Delighted with this holy rite, Lord Madhusudan appeared before him on the Akshay Tritiya day. On seeing Achyut, the supreme Atman, Narayana, with 4 arms holding the conch, discus, iron club, etc., he became awestruck. The Lord, clad in yellow robes, was adorned with garlands of sylvan flowers. He was seated on a Garud along he was seated on Garud along with all his followers as well as goddess Lakshmi. On seeing the unbearable refulgence, he immediately closed his eyes. He began to dance with delight. He moved about and whirled like a mad and inebriate man. All his limbs were marked with horripilation. Tears welled up in his eyes. He prostrated on the ground. With palms joined in reverence, he eulogized with great devotion. This was the 15th chapter of the Vaishakh Maas Mahatmya of the Vaishnav Khand of the Skanda Purana. All those who are listening, please say with me, Jai Shri Hari Vishnu Bhagwan, Jai Mahalakshmi Mata. Friends, please like and share this video. Also do subscribe the channel. Thanks. Hare Krishna.